Phil Musser is a senior advisor to Tim Pawlenty's presidential campaign and is here with us now. Well, Michelle Bachmann, where do you begin? In Iowa, she is formidable.
Yeah.
7 generations of her family go back to Iowa. And is there a path to the nomination for Tim Pawlenty that doesn't go through Iowa, neighboring to Minnesota?
Well, I think absolutely there's a path to the nomination. I think everyone who's serious about running in this contest should commit to running in Iowa. Tim Pawlenty is committed to run to Iowa. We have been running an aggressive campaign there. We've got.
You're talking about Mitt Romney.
I think the process has worked well for our country.
Most notably, saying that he will be sort of skipping Iowa.
I think you pass Iowa at your own peril, and the long and the short is that Tim Pawlenty is the kind of candidate who can appeal in Iowa. He can appeal in New Hampshire. He can do well in South Carolina. We were proud that Congressman Joe Wilson, endorsed our candidacy in South Carolina today. We've seen a lot of traction for the governor's message since we announced a couple weeks ago. We started out by leveling with people and telling them the truth. We rolled out a big growth plan earlier this week, and so the message has been resonating, and people are getting excited about the campaign in all the early states.
Well, in fact, in your growth plan, let's go through some of the elements.
Sure.
What makes you think that a plan to actually increase the deficit by cutting taxes is the right way to go right now? It's counterintuitive.
Well, it really depends if you believe that growth is the solution for our future. And so what the governor has laid out is an optimistic pro-growth message that's balanced with real meaningful spending cuts. And anyone who knows Tim Pawlenty and looks at his record on spending over 8 years as governor, where in the 40 years before he was governor, spending in Minnesota grew at about 21%. Over the 8 years of his governorship, spending grew at about 1.8%. This is a guy who knows how to cut budgets. And if you look at even a reduction of 1% a year over net outlays over the next 10 years in the federal budget, you see about a $7.5 trillion savings. You look at the Republican Study Group plan, that's about a $9 trillion savings. So what you have here is an optimistic, aspirational, growth-oriented message that's coupled with real spending cuts to achieve balance.
But when you're talking about cutting the corporate taxes, this is a very tough message, especially just any kind of calculus indicates that most people believe that either you're going to raise taxes or at least hold them steady. But cutting taxes at this point in a recession with a huge amount, well, coming out of a recession with a weak recovery and with the huge deficit that we have, I mean, it's basically supply-side economics.
Well, I think, Andrea, what most people want is a job. And what we've got now is not working. Kind of half measures of government stimulus into our economy haven't improved us. And we're getting to the are you better off 4 years ago than today than you were 4 years ago test. We offer a very different vision in this plan. This plan cleans out the code of all the special interest cronyism, brings rates down to 15%, and would unleash the American business, both small business and large business, to create jobs. We allow for small businesses, LLCs and Subchapter S, to opt whether to file under the 15% code or the 25% code. So there's no one that is getting a tax increase. There's no one who currently pays zero who would have to pay more. This is a job creation, job promotion, pro-growth plan, and it's a very different vision than what we're hearing from the kind of purveyors of malaise and doom out of the White House.
What do you make of what Sarah Palin has been up to and the attack by Ed Rollins working for Michelle Bachmann against Sarah Palin? What do you think that Sarah Palin is just on a publicity tour? Do you think this is a potential candidacy, and how would it affect Pawlenty?
Well, I think she's captured the imagination of the American people, and she's got an enormous following and reservoir of goodwill and support in the Republican Party. And so I don't, speak to understand.
Is she qualified to be president?
Is Sarah Palin qualified to be president? Yeah, Sarah Palin would be a better alternative than what we have now, for sure. And she is bringing a lot of energy and a lot of focus to issues that she thinks are really important to remind us from where we've been. But the long and the short of it is
she's got better name recognition, more money than Tim Pawlenty. So if she's qualified, why is he running?
Well, because Tim Pawlenty isn't running. I don't know if she's running or not, but Tim Pawlenty is an 8-year chief executive who reformed health care using market-based principles, who cut taxes, balanced budgets, and has provided time and again steady leadership and proven that he can win in blue states. I mean, in order to be effective and competitive in this next election, we're going to have to win in Pennsylvania, Colorado, Virginia, North Carolina. Tim Pawlenty has got the resume and the record to do exactly that. And that's why, regardless of who runs, Tim Pawlenty is the best candidate to unite the Republican Party, appealing to a lot of the different pieces of the modern-day Republican Party, and then lead us to beat Barack Obama by winning and connecting in those kinds of states in the fall.
And the first test will be Monday night's debate.
One of many, but yeah, it should be an interesting first look, and it'll be good to have everybody on the stage there. They can all speak to their records, and we're really excited about talking about our record, our plans, and our ideas for this campaign, and how we're going to get America moving again.
Phil Musser, it's great to see you. Thank you very much for being here.
Appreciate it.